Hello and welcome to CATSweek. I'm Annalise Poorman. At the Bloomington State of the City address on April 3rd, Police Chief Mike Dekoff celebrated that the Bloomington Police Department had seen an increase in staff, strengthening morale.
A safe, civil, and inclusive city starts with strong public safety teams. Under this administration, Bloomington has made significant strides fully staffing our police force. These gains reflect a renewed sense of support felt across the department, driven by investments in higher pay, new policies on take-home cars, and modern tools and equipment. We're committed to building a culture that continues to improve morale and retention, and officers are responding with pride, purpose, and a clear sense that their work is valued.
In addition, Dekoff celebrated a 24.3% decrease in violent crime. Fire Chief Roger Kerr celebrated the success of the city's mobile integrated health system, which has been paving the way for mobile telehealth in the U.S.
Our mobile integrated health program continues to lead the way in Indiana, combining emergency services with health care to provide a more effective, compassionate response to those in need. Through a grant from the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, Bloomington's mobile integrated health has become the first in the U.S. to receive telemedicine kits. These kits enable real-time medical assessments, including vital signs, ECG readings, allowing doctors to make faster, more informed decisions that improve patient outcomes. We are grateful for the city's commitment to public safety and for the trust the community places in us.
Mayor Carrie Thompson opened her speech with gratitude that the community sustained minimal damage through the recent storms. She also condemned the vandalism that impacted 2 local businesses this past week.
The kiln and the forge were vandalized last night. This was really senseless destruction of places built by and for our community. And I want to be clear, destruction has no place in Bloomington. In Bloomington, we protect the spaces where inclusion, innovation, and opportunity take root. Every dollar our businesses have to spend repairing unnecessary and reckless destruction is a dollar they can't put toward helping our community thrive. We're investigating, we are responding, and we are moving forward. But let's all commit to using our powers for good, our creativity for the benefit of our whole, and our energy to build up and not break down.
Thompson also spoke to her administration's goals of accountability, transparency, and joy. She highlighted various projects supporting these goals, including the Downtown Community Cleanup Day, the Climate Action Dashboard, the Convention Center expansion, and the construction of ADA-compliant ramps downtown. Thompson reiterated her administration's commitment to progress and community.
Whether through policy, partnerships, or simply showing up, this first year has been filled with meaningful progress and meaningful listening. We're proud of what we've built, and we're not finished.
Thompson detailed key issues and goals throughout her term. First, focusing on the city's need to address the housing crisis. She said that her administration has created a plan to address the housing crisis by increasing support for the unhoused and implementing preventative measures.
I made a clear promise, and I'm keeping it. City funding will go only to organizations and community partners aligned with this coordinated framework. If you're not part of the solution, you won't be part of our funding.
Thompson also mentioned the importance of transparency, highlighting her efforts to hear voices from the community.
As I mentioned earlier, transparency and engagement are how we are leading. Every decision we make, from policies to budgets, should be clear, accessible, and most importantly, shaped by the people that we serve. A government that listens and then acts is a government that works. Over the past year, we've expanded direct engagement opportunities and increased public input in decision-making. I've kept my promise to take City Hall into the community each month through traveling town halls and with cabinet and council members, one-on-one office hours, and listening sessions with nonprofits and faith leaders. I've worked to make it easier for residents and community leaders to ask questions, raise concerns, share their hopes, and engage directly with their government.
Thompson continued by noting the city's efforts to strengthen the Bloomington brand in an effort to attract more businesses and residents.
We've prioritized something that's been long overlooked: how Bloomington presents itself to the world. Thriving economies are built on identity. Our story, our values, our sense of place, they all shape the way that we grow and who chooses to grow with us. And I know we have some future residents with us tonight, so welcome to Bloomington.
Next, Director of Economic and Sustainable Development, Jane Cooper-Smith, shared an update on the city's financial well-being.
In economic and sustainable development, our job is to create the conditions for a strong, resilient, and thriving Bloomington. Current economic pressures do not make our work very easy or any easier. Despite these national headwinds, we've stayed focused and we're delivering. We're reducing housing barriers, we're securing outside investments in Bloomington, and we're making long-term strategic commitments to our shared future. It's not always easy, but our team shows up, follows through, and is getting results.
Cooper-Smith said that the Trades District had already bolstered the city's growing tech sector and shared an update on the Hopewell Commons.
In 2024, Mayor Thompson led a strategic reset of the Hopewell development to ensure it delivers on its promises to the community. The Redevelopment Commission issued an updated public offering on Hopewell South and on Hopewell East, moving us toward a thoughtful and inclusive development. Construction of Hopewell Commons is now complete, including a green space, a 1% for the Arts piece by John Rasek that will begin installation this summer, and temporary pickleball courts. Yeah. Please join us to celebrate Hopewell Commons this month on April 23rd. We'll also host another public information session later this spring where you can do a full project download.
Mayor Thompson closed the evening with a message of hope.
My promise remains this: I will lead a city government that is open, responsive, and built to serve the people who call Bloomington home. A city where barriers are removed, ideas are welcomed with compassion and curiosity, and collaboration is our first instinct. We've made more progress than a single speech can capture, and that's the kind of challenge every city should be lucky enough to have. Our team has delivered in big, meaningful ways, but the best is truly yet to come.
At the Monroe County Election Board meeting on April 3rd, County Clerk Nicole Brown gave an update on ongoing legislation that could impact Indiana elections.
The session at the State House is winding down. There are some bills that have already been signed by the governor. The one that relates to elections so far that's been signed is Senate Bill 199, which is the bill that provides that 2 or more candidates of a political party may sign a written statement indicating their desire to name a watcher to be present at the county primary election. I note that talks about the primary only, but it was signed on April 1st by the governor. Next, House Bill 1633 is the bill that calls for the study of election issues, but it also talks about the possibility of requiring all counties to become vote centers that will go to a study committee this summer. House Bill 1643 has it's a campaign finance bill that has been sent to the Committee on Appropriations. House Bill 1679 is of particular interest to clerks. It's where we asked for specific things such as making sure that every county clerk's office is closed on election day. Some of my clerk brothers and sisters are not as fortunate. And so this says that the clerk is relieved of their judicial responsibilities on election day and their office is closed except for the purposes of overseeing the election. It also says that any county government employee who would like to serve, that they be given that day off like you would any other day to volunteer, and that you are allowed to be off to serve as a poll worker on Election Day. We also did get our ask that the date for presidential certification be moved up to September 1st. This past year, it was September 13th, and that created a problem in that we only had 1 week to get everything done and get out our mail ballots to our absentee, overseas, and military voters. That again was House Bill 1679. 1680 is election security and transparency. That is typically the bill for the Indiana Election Division. It has passed through both houses and is on second reading at the State House. House Bill 1681 is for local public questions, and it provides that any local public question or referendum may be placed only on a ballot for the general election. Senate Bill 10 is the voter registration bill. It's a really big bill, but the one that impacts elections. It does specify that you may not use a university identification to vote, so students will not be allowed going forward to vote with their student ID. It is expected to pass and become law. Senate Bill 199, I said that had already been signed by the governor. And then Senate Bill 526 voids an advisory opinion adopted by the Indiana Election Commission, and it has definitions for tabulation and ballot retraction should someone pass away and we need to remove the ballot. We anticipate those all becoming laws. It is on its third reading, and we expect it to be signed by the governor. That's all of the legislative updates I have.
The next election board meeting will be held on May 1st. At their meeting on April 3rd, the Monroe County Commissioners approved declaring surplus items, including 10 file cabinets from the Sheriff's Department, 3 dump trucks from the Highway Department, and a patrol truck from the Commissioner's office. The cabinets will be scrapped, and the vehicles will be auctioned. Commissioner Jody Madeira highlighted the county's effective use of resources.
I just wish that the public knew more about how we responsibly use materials that are at the end of their life. I think that they just think we throw things away, and we're actually extraordinarily conservative, and we try to get every extra penny of value out.
Later, the commissioners discussed financial options for the Bean Blossom Fire District to merge with Ellettsville or Monroe County. County Attorney Jeff Cockrell noted that Bean Blossom residents want to know more about the problems with their fire department and the potential impacts of merging.
This is a contract that would analyze both the proposal from the Monroe Fire Protection District as well as the town of Ellettsville's proposal for fire service in that area, to kind of put that whole thing in a package so that the residents can understand, hey, here's the problem and here's potential solutions to those problems, so that they can make an educated decision on their fire protection.
Madeira said that the county should be praised for their efforts.
I just applaud the county for their commitment to transparency and for taking the time to really get this decision resolved in a correct manner in which all residents are informed. And I think that's what good government looks like.
The commissioners also awarded 2 contracts, one to Milestone and one to E&B Paving, for Community Crossings Matching Grant paving projects. The grants, awarded by INDOT, provide funds for local road and bridge improvements. Commissioner Lee Jones applauded Highway Director Lisa Ridge for securing the grant, but expressed concern about the future of the program.
I appreciate all the hard work that goes into this. It's not easy, and we've got the next item related to this. But I do appreciate that consistently year after year, you've been able to secure this money, and really greatly appreciate it. Not sure what's going to happen in the future with it, though, because I keep seeing the legislation change, and it's not good.
Several roads around the county will be resurfaced as part of those paving projects over the next few months. Next, the Health Department requested approval for an agreement with Limelight Recovery to provide mental health and substance use treatment. Health Administrator Lori Kelly highlighted the program's growth.
We just saw how successful the program was and wanted to be able to provide this for a full year and also increase funding to provide both group therapy sessions and individual therapy.
The commissioners approved the agreement. The Stormwater Management Board met on April 2nd to discuss stormwater expenditures with various project updates. The board heard an MOU from the Lake Monroe Water Fund that requested $3,500 to fund a stream flow gauge in the eastern part of the lake. The monitoring gauge is funded in part by the U.S. Geological Survey with additional assistance from Duke Energy and the nonprofit Friends of Lake Monroe. The request was met with unanimous approval from the board. Board member Lee Jones shared her opinion on the MOU, expressing her strong support.
I think this is a very important thing to continue to maintain. Lake Monroe is really essential for our existence. It would be very foolish to not keep on keeping track.
Next, Monroe County Highway Director Lisa Ridge provided an update to the Stipp Road construction project, outlining budget requirements to be appropriated by the County Council at a later date. She said that the aim of this project is to raise sections of the road to prevent hazardous flooding conditions for drivers. Ridge said that she hopes to reach the end of this project soon.
I couldn't agree more, Tron. It's taken a long time to get here. Yes, I do see completion of these two projects. I do want to point out, but I don't know if you're familiar with the area, but where this project of Stipp Road stops around Car Top, and then going towards Morse Creek, there will still be an area that could face flooding, but it's outside the area of any homes or anybody being displaced. That was the main goal for this project. So the construction limits will include anybody that has a residential driveway in that area. The other end of Morse Creek, anybody would be able to get out on that side. So the goal that we had for this project, I believe we will meet those. So yeah, I'm excited that we can. I saw Morse Creek get done. It turned out really well. And I think Stipp Road, the other end, is going to turn out just as well.
A water quality monitoring program report was delivered by O'Neill graduate fellow Kaylin Berkey. She noted that all of Monroe County's watersheds largely stayed within the state required 6 to 9 pH level and that temperature changes were within a safe range for the community.
For Hoosier River Watch and state standards, you do not want the difference to exceed 2.8 degrees Celsius. Now, the county average for this is about 0.3, which indicates that we're doing very good in terms of temperature change. Environmental factors are a big influence, especially with our smaller, slower moving streams. That has to do with the air temperature and then tree cover and sun exposure.
Berkey said that overall, the water quality index was determined to be an average of 91.15 across the county, which is considered good by state standards. County Commissioner Julie Thomas reiterated the importance of the monitoring report, making sure that the program remains viable in the future.
I'm wondering if there's a way that we can in the future, I'm hoping we're still going to be tracking these numbers, right? That we can look at those instances where there's high turbidity and look in the area and see what's going on. Is there a construction project? Is there, what's changed or what's led to it? And I think making those connections is going to be really important for folks.
The Monroe County Stormwater Management Board will meet again on May 7th. On April 2nd, the Bloomington City Council met for their regular session, where they discussed Ordinance 2025-09, which would establish the Public Safety Answering Point Local Income Tax, or PSAP, fund. The aim of this fund is to create a separate channel dedicated to paying for 911 and police dispatch services. City Controller Jessica McClellan stated that the aim of this ordinance was to support efficiency in police dispatch funding.
Since 2016, a portion of our local income tax has been set aside for public safety. Part of that money is meant just for the dispatch center. Until now, that money was tracked separately on paper or on a spreadsheet, but kept in the same fund as the other public safety income. This ordinance simply moves that money into its own fund as required by state law. Doing so makes things cleaner, easier to track, and ensures that money is used for its intended purpose, supporting our 911 services.
McClelland clarified that this would not impact funding for other public safety and emergency services.
The original Public Safety Local Income Tax Fund still exists and can be used for other public safety needs like police and fire services, ambulance and emergency medical response, public safety communications and 911 systems, and pensions for police, fire, and other safety personnel.
The ordinance was passed unanimously. During public comment, Professor of Economics at Indiana University, Gerard Glom, spoke to the council expressing thanks for the efforts of the people who contributed to the emergency winter shelter and other homelessness initiatives.
There were some lovely folks who this winter made the emergency winter shelter happen. And I want to express my gratitude for the 2 churches downtown that made their space available to people who are unhoused in this community.
Glom warned of the future threats to the well-being of many people impacted by homelessness, both from the weather and from the federal government.
From talking to people, I think there might be a sense among some people in this community that this is a one-time event. I'm not sure. I know for sure next January it's going to happen. I know for sure that it's going to be cold in January. The other thing I think I know is, as the social security system, the social safety net, is being systematically unraveled at various levels of the government, I can only see the demand for these kinds of services grow. In particular, it appears to me that the Administration for Community Living has been dismantled or is about to be totally dismantled. That's the organization that helps coordinate and probably also fund homes for the aging and adults with mental disabilities. If those funds disappear, where are these folks going to go?
Director of Exodus Refugee Immigration nonprofit, Aaron Aquino, gave the final public comment for the meeting, spreading awareness of recent efforts nationwide to decrease immigration within the United States.
And unfortunately, since January 20th of this year, we have not welcomed a single refugee in the country. Trump and his bigoted administration are trying to revoke the legal status of Cubans, Haitians, Venezuelans, Nicaraguans, and we fear the some 280,000 Ukrainians we have welcomed. We have spoken to many parolees who are living in fear of deportation for having done nothing wrong but to come to this country to live. We call on our Bloomington elected officials to continue to break from these racist policies of our state and this presidential administration and voice their support for refugees and our Afghan and Ukrainian allies. Please make an official recognition of World Refugee Day on June 20th and partner with us to support and welcome refugees here in Bloomington. We commend the mayor and the city for not collaborating with ICE, and we ask you to continue to protect the rights of immigrants in our community. We ask for financial support to keep our doors open to serve the 500 immigrants that are here in our community.
The Bloomington City Council will meet again on April 16th. And that is all for Cats Week. Thank you for joining us. For Cats and WFHB, I'm Annalise Poorman.